Have you ever wondered why history seems to be a never-ending parade of kings, emperors, and male conquerors? It's almost as if women were just watching from the sidelines. But what if I told you that's not the whole story? What if history is filled with powerful queens, brilliant empresses, and fierce female rulers whose stories have been buried, twisted, or simply forgotten? Today, we're digging them up. We're going to uncover the incredible legacies of women who ruled empires, commanded armies, and shaped the world, but whose names you probably never learned in school. Get ready to rewrite history. Let's travel back to ancient Egypt, but we're skipping Cleopatra for now. I want you to meet Hatshepsut in the 15th century BC. She didn't just become a regent for her young stepson. She declared herself pharaoh. This was a title reserved exclusively for men. To solidify her power, Hatshepsut adopted all the male symbols of kingship. She wore the traditional kilt, the false beard, and even had her name and image inscribed on temples as a male king. But this wasn't just for show. Her reign of over 2 decades was one of Egypt's most prosperous and peaceful periods. She commissioned hundreds of construction projects, including her magnificent mortuary temple at Deir el-Bahari, which still stands today. She also re-established trade routes that had been disrupted, bringing immense wealth, exotic goods, and new ideas into Egypt. So why was she almost erased? After her death, her successor, Thutmose III, systematically chiseled her name and image from monuments across Egypt. For centuries, it was as if she never existed. It was until the 19th century that Egyptologists pieced together the puzzle and restored Hatshepsut to her rightful place as one of the greatest pharaohs in history. Now, let's journey east to the 7th century, to the Tang dynasty in China, a golden age of culture and power. Here we find Wu Zetian starting as a concubine to Emperor Taizong. She navigated the treacherous waters of the imperial court with unmatched intelligence and ambition. After the emperor's death, she became a concubine to his son, Emperor Gaozong, eventually rising to become his empress consort. As his health failed, Wu Zetian became the de facto ruler, handling state affairs with a firm and capable hand. But she didn't stop there. After his death, she outmaneuvered her own sons and in the year 690, did the unthinkable. She declared herself empress regnant, founding her own dynasty, the Zhou. She is the only woman in more than 4,000 years of Chinese history to ever hold the title of emperor. Her reign was marked by significant military expansion, a merit-based civil service system that brought talented commoners into government, and a flourishing of Buddhism. Despite her undeniable achievements, traditional Confucian historians who believed a woman ruling was unnatural painted her as a ruthless and cruel tyrant. They focused on her methods of seizing power, often ignoring the stability and prosperity she brought. Her story is a powerful reminder of how history is often written by the victors and by the men. Let's head to Africa, to 17th century Angola, and meet a queen who defied colonial powers with incredible courage and strategic genius, Queen Nzinga of Ndongo and Matamba. When the Portuguese began their aggressive expansion, enslaving her people and seizing land, Nzinga rose to the challenge. She was a master diplomat. In a famous meeting with the Portuguese governor, his attendants offered her no chair, expecting her to stand as a sign of inferiority. Instead, Nzinga had one of her servants get on all fours to become her human seat, meeting the governor at eye level. This single act showed she would not be intimidated, but she was more than just a sharp diplomat. She was a brilliant military leader. For over 30 years, she led a fierce resistance against the Portuguese. She formed strategic alliances with neighboring states and even the Dutch, constantly adapting her tactics to fight one of the world's most powerful empires. She personally led her armies into battle well into her 60s. Nzinga became a powerful symbol of resistance against colonialism, a protector of her people, and a ruler who fought relentlessly for her kingdom's freedom until her death at the age of 80. Her legacy of defiance and leadership continues to inspire people across Africa and the world. Now, let's sail across the Atlantic to the Caribbean, to the island of Hispaniola during the Haitian Revolution. Here we find a forgotten heroine named Sanat Belair. Born into slavery in 1781, she joined the rebellion for freedom as a young woman. She wasn't just a follower, she was a soldier and a leader. Fighting alongside her husband, Charles Belair, a nephew of the revolutionary leader Toussaint Louverture. She rose through the ranks to become a sergeant and later a lieutenant in the rebel army. Sanat was known for her bravery and her refusal to back down. When she and her husband were ambushed and captured by French forces, they faced a terrible choice. The French offered Charles a pardon if he would convince Sanat to betray the rebellion. He refused. At their execution, women were typically executed by beheading, but Sanat demanded to be executed by firing squad, like a soldier. Like her husband, she faced the firing squad with her head held high, refusing a blindfold and shouting, "Liberty, not slavery." Her powerful final act cemented her status as a martyr for Haitian independence. She is remembered today as one of the great heroines of the revolution, a symbol of courage and the unwavering fight for freedom. Our final stop is in India, during the 19th century revolt against British rule. Meet Rani Lakshmibai, the queen of the princely state of Jhansi, when her husband, the king, died without a male heir. The British tried to annex her kingdom under their doctrine of lapse Lakshmibai refused to surrender her state. She famously declared, "I shall not surrender my Jhansi." When the rebellion against the British erupted in 1857, she became one of its most iconic leaders. She wasn't a queen hiding in a palace. She was a warrior on the front lines. Witnesses described her as a fearless commander, riding into battle with her young adopted son strapped to her back. She organized her troops, fortified her city, and led a fierce defense against the vastly superior British forces. Even after Jhansi fell, she escaped and continued the fight, rallying other rebel forces. Her bravery on the battlefield became legendary. She died in combat, fighting for her people's freedom, and became an immortal symbol of Indian nationalism and resistance. Her story inspired generations of freedom fighters and remains a powerful testament to the strength and courage of a queen who chose to be a warrior. Hatshepsut, Wuzishan Nzinga, Sanet, Belair, and Rani Lakshmibai. These are just 5 names from a long list of extraordinary female rulers whose stories have been sidelined. They were politicians, builders, warriors, and diplomats who held immense power and left lasting legacies. Their histories challenge the narrative we've been told and prove that power, leadership, and courage have no gender. By remembering them, we don't just learn about the past. We gain a more complete and accurate understanding of our shared human story. The next time you open a history book, ask yourself, whose stories are missing? Thank you so much for joining me on this journey to uncover the past. If you found these stories as inspiring as I do, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more hidden histories. Let me know in the comments which forgotten queen you think we should cover next. Until then, keep questioning everything.